Hello, and welcome to my page. I appreciate you checking this out. If you are interested in the Void of Course Moon, I am going to be covering it pretty thoroughly. And this whole video is about August. And so thank you again for tuning in. I really appreciate it. If you decide that you liked the content, I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more content, if you could subscribe, that would be awesome. And if you'd like to know of when I post, then just hit the little bell and then you will be notified. So again, thank you so much. Well, first I'm going to remind you about the Void of Course Moon and why it's important, why you should even care. Now, first of all, the moon completes a revolution around the Earth every 29 days. And while it's doing this, it's passing through the 12 signs of the zodiac, spending about 2.5 days in each sign. The moon is void of course during the time between making its last major aspect to a planet in one sign and its entry into the next sign. This period, which is called the void of course moon, may last just seconds, or it could last more than 2 days. The second the moon enters the new sign, the void of course ends. Now there's effects, and that is why we need to care about this. All of us tend to be generally less focused, and our judgment is really not at its best. Our decision-making suffers, and we are more likely to make mistakes. Shortages and defects can be expected. So there are things that you should probably avoid. First of all, don't start anything new. No new activities if you think you might want to do it again sometime in your life. You shouldn't purchase new items. Only replace things that you have run out of. And definitely don't buy clothing. That's the clothing hanging in your closet that you never ever wear. You bought it during a void of course moon. It's also recommended don't bring anything in for repairs. Bad things can happen. I have seen it many times. I have heard many stories. Just definitely don't, if you care about what you want repaired, don't bring it on a void of course time. Also, it's a good idea not to meet with anyone whose judgment is important. If we're paying for advice from a doctor or a lawyer or anyone really, they are also going to be less focused. So, not a good time to be seeing anyone where their opinion actually matters. Meetings of importance or signing contracts, things like that, definitely need to be postponed to a time that is not the void of course moon. Basically, you can just count on things being postponed or completely falling apart. And if you try a new restaurant or decide to try a new food, you are not going to be satisfied. The main thing to remember, if you begin it during a void of course moon, if that's the first time you've ever done it, you will likely never ever do it again. So, keep that in mind. Even when you deliberately try to do something again, it won't be easy. I made the mistake of doing something I really wanted to get into my life during a void of course moon. I tried and tried and tried to set it up again. Never worked out. Finally, I decided to try to set it up during a void of course moon. I did that 3 times. Finally, I seemed to break the spell. But holy cow, it was not easy. It took 1.5 years. So, remember that. Now, there are good things to do during a void of course moon. Reiki, spiritual growth, channeling, working with your stones, astral projection, meditation, and believe it or not, you can break habits by avoiding their course. So you just break the habit during the void. It is a good time to clean house, relax, sleep, or you could go out with a friend to a place where you've been before and order food that you've eaten before, and definitely have no expectations about anything. Also, if a troubling situation begins during a void of course moon, it's pretty likely it's going to come to nothing. I got a ticket during a void of course moon one time, and when I realized that the moon was void of course when the ticket was written, I went to court and I won, and it was dismissed. So that's another good thing that can happen. So learning to work with the void of course moon is definitely going to make an impact. Excuse me. Things will flow more smoothly. You won't have stress over cancellations, delays, problems. And when you can reduce stress, there's more time to enjoy your life. So, I definitely recommend following the void of course moon. So, I'm going to tell you about all of the void of course moons coming up in the month of August. We also have a Mercury retrograde beginning in August. We just really need that on top of the other 4. But we will do with it what we can. And I'll tell you a little bit about it, and then I'm going to record another video that's just the Mercury retrograde. So for August 2023, yesterday, the 1st, we had a full moon. And when the full moon falls on the 1st or the 2nd, it's highly likely we will have a second full moon that month. And that one is called a blue moon. So just letting you know, on the 30th, we're going to be getting a blue moon. On the 2nd, today, a void of course began at 4:15 a.m. and it ended at 10:05 p.m. And now we are in the Pisces moon. And so Pisces folk are having high energy until the next void of course moon, and the Virgo folk are going to be in low energy until the next void of course moon. And so the Pisces moon, this is what we can expect. This moon makes us crave sleep, meditation, prayer, drugs, alcohol, whatever it takes to induce a trance-like state that will allow us to escape from the harshness of reality. We are super susceptible to emotional assaults of any kind, and that's because we're feeling kind of fuzzy and dreamy, and it leaves us very impressionable. We are at our most spiritual during the Pisces moon, but our boundaries are at their very weakest. Another good thing, we are more compassionate, intuitive, and sensitive to those that are less fortunate. It's a good time to attend a spiritual group or a religious gathering. So after our Pisces moon, on August 4th at 8:21 p.m., the void of course moon begins, and it lasts until 10:19 p.m. Then we will be in the Aries moon, and so people that are under the sign of Aries are going to be in high energy, and the folks who are Libra are going to be in low energy. And that's going to last until 11:13 p.m. on the 6th. So the Aries moon makes us bold, maybe even a little impulsive, but for sure we are energetic. Some of us get feisty, some of us get a little bit argumentative. This is a time when even the meekest person is not afraid to take a stand to protect his personal feelings. And this is a good time to start projects. You'll more likely complete them. And it is a really good time to initiate change because you'll probably stick with it. But there is caution regarding a tendency to be too impulsive or to get stressed out. So don't let that happen. Stay calm. Everything will be fine. Just start something new. All right. Now the next void of course moon begins on August 6th at 11:13 p.m. and ends on August 7th at 1:25 a.m. Then we will be in the Taurus moon. That means that Taurus folk will be in high energy and Scorpios will be in low energy. Now the Taurus moon, what to expect? Well, that's when we are feeling solid and sensual. We feel secure and well-rooted. We don't feel that there's any need to worry, no stress, just calm. We don't want to change anything. In fact, we tend to resist change, especially change that's not of our making. We'd rather just chill, enjoy dinner, listen to good music, maybe take in a movie. And basically, we just want to appreciate the beauty around us. But if you're feeling ambitious, it's a really good time to take care of money matters or other resources. It's just a good time to be doing that because of how secure we feel. All right, then the next void of course moon begins on the 9th of August at 5:39 a.m. and lasts until 8:05 a.m. Then we are in the Gemini moon. And so that means that people who are Gemini are going to be in high energy, and people who are Sagittarians are going to be in low energy. Now, the Gemini moon moves quickly, and that can cause us to be restless. So, we're suddenly in the mood to talk. Conversations are big, texting, emails, letters, puzzles, riddles, word games, words. We want words. All right. We also want two, or at least two of everything. So you might want to avoid shopping during this time if there's a budget to maintain, because you maybe don't need two of everything. But it is a great time to write a letter, make a phone call, or take a short road trip. You are going to find the very best shortcuts just when you need them if you're out there driving. And do use care not to scatter your energy because this is a pretty fickle moon. Next void, of course, comes on the 11th of August, begins at 12:27 p.m. and lasts until 5:52 p.m. And then we are in the Cancer moon. That means the folks who are under the sign of Cancer are in high energy, and the Capricorns are in low energy. And so the Cancer moon is when we are the most nurturing. Our concerns turn to home, family, children, mothers, grandparents, fathers, and basically we are expressing our emotions. We are much more sympathetic and understanding toward others. We are often in the mood to cook or care for our loved ones. And during this moon, keep in mind that feelings do run high. So it's important to be aware of becoming oversensitive, dependent, or needy. And definitely watch what you say to others. It's a great time to putter around the house, entertain your family, make them a meal, and tend to domestic concerns. Now, the next void, of course, starts on August 14th at 2:46 a.m. and ends at 5:36 a.m. And then we are in the Leo moon. And so that means the folks who are Leo are going to be in high energy, and the Aquarians are going to be in low energy. So the Leo moon is drama time. This moon is known for its big entrances, and its love of display and its need for attention. During this moon, we are all feeling a need to be recognized, maybe applauded, but we definitely want to feel appreciated. All that excitement, pride, and emotion can turn into melodrama in a quick second. So be careful about overreacting or being excessively vain during this moon. It's a great time to take in a show or be in a show, be romantic, or express your feelings for someone you love in regal style. Now our next void of course moon is on the 17th. We also have a new moon on the 17th of August. A new moon is similar to Aries in the respect it's a good time to initiate change. It's a good time to start something new. And so keep that in mind. You have 2 chances every month. And 3 some months when when Aries is twice in 1 month. And so on the 17th, the void of course moon begins at 4:38 a.m. and ends at 6:14 p.m. Now, the Virgo moon makes us become very discriminating and detail-oriented. Our concerns turn to fixing, fussing, and tending to. We tend to just be in the mood to clean and sort and troubleshoot and help others. We become more health conscious during this moon. We're more work oriented and duty bound. And during this moon, we pay more attention to our diet, hygiene, and daily schedule than any other moon. Now the next void of course moon begins on August 19th at 3:51 a.m. and ends at 6:53 a.m. Then we are in the Libra moon. And so that means that the Libra folk are going to be in high energy, and the Aries are going to be in low energy. And during this moon, we are more oriented toward relationships and partnerships. We are caring about our relationships and our friendships and the people out there that mean the most to us. Now, Libra's job is to restore balance, so you may find yourself in a situation of emotional imbalance that may require a delicate touch to set it right. This is a very social and polite moon, very friendly, and we tend to be cooperative and more agreeable to compromise. This moon prompts us to make our surroundings beautiful or put ourselves in situations where beauty surrounds us. It's a great time to decorate, shop for our home, or visit places of beauty. Now the next void of course moon is on the 21st of August. It begins at 3:31 p.m. and lasts until 6:22 p.m. Then we will be in the Scorpio moon. And the Scorpio moon is the most intense moon. We feel everything to the nth degree. Passion, joy, jealousy, betrayal, love, and desire can take center stage as our emotions deepen to the point of possible obsession. Be careful of being secretive, suspicious, or brooding over any offense that we know was not intended. It's a great time to investigate a mystery, do research, and allow ourselves to become intimate with the one we love. Next void of course moon. Oh, wait, we got to stop on the 22nd because that is when the Mercury retrograde begins. Also, the sun enters Virgo. So, I'm going to tell you just a little bit about the Mercury retrograde. To me, it is the most troubling of all of them. And that is because in today's world, Mercury is the computer, the telephone, and the internet. He constantly feeds us information about the world. He operates through our five senses and our brain, making us conscious of opposites like light and dark, hot and cold, up and down. Mercury represents the side of us living totally in the present. It never stops collecting data. Retrograde means backwards. Mercury retrograde means looking back at Mercury-ruled things. Communications, contracts, things like that. Some errors may be cleverly disguised. Communication becomes confused or delayed. Letters are lost or are sent to the wrong address. If we sign an agreement or contract, we'll find out later that it was missing information or was misleading in some way. We may keep trying to contact someone over and over by phone, by text, and we never reach them. Our communication devices break down, won't connect, or they send our messages weeks later. We feel our timing is off, so short trips become more difficult because we forget our carefully written directions at home or we wrote them down wrong. We're late for appointments for reasons beyond our control, or we completely forget about our appointments. So use the time constructively to look back at the last 3 months before the Mercury retrograde and assimilate experiences. A rule of thumb with Mercury retrograde is try to confine activities to those that have RE attached to the beginning of the word. Reschedule, repair, return, rewrite, redecorate, restore, replace, renovate, or renew are some great examples. And so that's all I'm going to tell you about that for now, but I will be posting a video that just talks about the Mercury retrograde and how to best navigate it, because it is a tough one and it is overlapping the Venus retrograde. And so that's, what we love, who we love, and then miscommunications. So it is going to be a tough overlap of, I believe, 9 days. Not good, so I want you to be prepared for that. All right, the next void of course moon is on August 23rd, begins at 12:10 a.m. and ends at 3:07 a.m. and then we are in the Sagittarius moon. So Sagittarians will be in high energy and Gemini will be in low energy. And the Sagittarian moon is the most optimistic. We're more likely to shrug things off, just let them go, and laugh about it. It's a great time to take off on an adventure or take a seminar on a topic that you've always had interest in. Spend some time outdoors, be spontaneous, laugh loudly, and just watch out for a tendency toward excess, waste, and overdoing. All right, our next void, of course, is on the 26th of August. It begins at 6:56 a.m. and lasts until 8:05 a.m. And then we will be in the Capricorn moon. And that means that Capricorn folks will be in high energy, and the folks that are under the sign of Cancer will be in low energy. So the Capricorn moon is the most organized, practical, and businesslike moon. It's kind of the adult. We tend to be dutiful and cautious, and we're a little pessimistic too. We prefer to work versus play. Our future goals become all important. We tend to family business. We act responsibly. We are adulting. We take charge of something or organize a part of our life that's become scattered. And basically, it's just a good time to set down some rules and guidelines and just sit patiently, listen, and learn. Watch out for acting too businesslike at the expense of another's emotions. And so that is, we're going to be in Capricorn until the 28th of August. At 6:49 a.m., the void of course begins, and it ends at 9:32 a.m. And then we will be in the Aquarius moon. Now, the Aquarius moon is the rebel moon, and it brings out the rebel in most of us. And we become prone to extremes and abrupt reactions. We are ready to break out of our ruts, to try something different, to make sure that everyone sees us for the unique people that we are. Personal freedom and individuality become extremely important. Our schedule might get topsy-turvy, and some of our causes will feel very urgent. Be cautious about becoming fanatical or acting deliberately rebellious without any reason, or for breaking a tradition just for the sake of being rebellious and because you can. So watch out about hurting other people during this rebellious moon. Alright, and it's a short one. It only is going to last until the 29th of August at 10:04 p.m. And that void, of course, is going to last until the 30th at 8:56 a.m. And at that time, we will be back in the Pisces moon, which is what we began with in the month of August. And remember, this one makes us crave sleep, meditation, prayer, drugs, alcohol, whatever it takes to get into that dreamy, fuzzy state so that we don't have to be looking at the harshness of reality. And so remember, we are our most spiritual during the Pisces moon, but our boundaries are at their very weakest. And so keep that in mind. And the full moon is also on the 30th. That is the blue moon. And you can look for a video in the very near future about Mercury retrograde. And I promise I will be getting out September's void of course days and time ahead of the beginning of September. I'll do it the last week of August at the latest. And so be mindful of these retrogrades. Be extra careful between the 22nd of August and the 2nd of September, because Venus and Mercury overlap. That's going to be a little tense. And if you have questions, feel free to put them in the comment section. And thanks again for tuning in. I hope this information is helpful to you, and wishing you the very best. I'll be back soon. Bye-bye.